You don't often see NBA players completely dismantle other NBA players like Victor Wembanyama did to Anthony Davis. That was the story of the Spurs' dominating win over the Mavs on opening night. Wemby had 40, 80 had 20-ish on poor efficiency, and it was happening on both ends throughout the entire game. Wemby's domination of Anthony Davis, and this was a really good, hey, maybe this is just the Wemby MVP year already type of performance. Impact as a rim deterrent is so clear. He doesn't even have to really do anything. Just because he's parked at the rim, Anthony Davis doesn't really want to get closer against Harrison Barnes, a very poor interior defender, by the way. Didn't mean to open up. Just meant to open up that. Very poor interior defender, by the way. And he just doesn't go in right there. And then Wembanyama on the other end. This was the sequence that was really oh my God, he has really arrived, drops his shoulder, and just throws a hook shot over Anthony Davis. He took 14 two-pointers in this game, I believe. Only 2 threes, I think, and one of them was that crazy behind the back, which we'll watch in a bit. But it is terrifying that Victor Wembanyama, at the beginning of year 3, can dip his shoulder. He already has the flexibility, and look that this is not I don't even know what to say about that. He's a stick figure and he's 7'6", and he gets his shoulder below AD. Look at how far he drives Anthony Davis back with his one step, all the way, his front foot back all the way from the elbow to this first hash mark, and then just drops a hook shot over him. This was the moment where I'm like, oh my God, it might already be over. And if you also believe it's over, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. All would be really, really appreciated. And hey, let me know how you're feeling this NBA season. This may have been a goaltend, but rule of cool. Insane underhand flip block from Wemby. And honestly, I'm not sure. I think he probably got this on the way up. It just looks like a goaltend because it's insane. But looking at that, it doesn't look like it's going down at all by the time Wemby gets it. So I'm going to call that clean because it looks cool. Anyways, let's get into the rest of this breakdown and talk about Wembanyama. AD was a step slow guarding the rim all night. Compare that to Wembanyama, who flew over to protect the rim on that last play. Cooper Flag gets beat, and AD sees it, and you'd expect the defender of his quality to slide over and protect the rim against Wemby, but nope, he doesn't even try. He just swipes at the ball, and Victor Wembanyama slams it on him. And it was still close in the first quarter. AD got Victor with this pump fake. This was one of very few wins he had. And then on this crazy pump fake reverse dunk that everyone saw, another one where, hey, look, it's Anthony Davis on the weak side again. PJ Washington gets absolutely cooked on this pump fake right here. But Davis sees it early. I want Anthony Davis is good enough. You traded him for Luka Doncic, that I wanted to go up and try to actually contest Wemby right here instead of just swiping at the ball, right? This is what guards do when they're forced to protect the rim because they have no other options. And it was just night and day from the way that Victor Wembanyama was protecting the rim. And I don't know if AD's hurt or something, but it was his process on both ends was quite poor. He was forcing a lot of really tough shots, and Wembanyama was perfectly fine just giving him them. He didn't really respect his jumper, and the Mavs offense is just brutal. It's not all AD's fault because he has no freaking point guards. It's actually insane. This is the worst backcourt ever. Yeah, and there were some possessions where AD, I think, was defending Wemby pretty well until the foul right here. This is a ridiculous shot from a ridiculous alien player right here. Look, oh my goodness. The coordination and the touch to make a shot like that. But again, you can see where a player like Anthony Davis can win. He's so quick and strong. He can wall off Wembanyama's drives and force a really tough fadeaway, but he falls for the pump fake, leans into him. Not like a super hard foul or anything, but that's definitely a foul. On to the third quarter where Victor Wembanyama going back to work against AD, and this is another, the work with Hakeem has paid off. His footwork is pristine, and especially when you can get Wemby going off a pick and pop. Steph Castle was awesome in this game. Wemby gets AD on a closeout. He jumps because, see, this is why I think the cachet that Wemby has built as a shooter over the last couple of years is important. Everyone's like, hey, he shoots too many threes, but defenders give a shit about him out here because of that. They know he'll pull it, and they'll know he can make it. even though he's not really shooting threes in this game, he uses that to get a step on AD, but AD does a good job recovering. He gets his foot in front of Wembanyama's, right? So he stops, but he crosses back over. His handle through contact, ability to dribble in front, like to actually dribble in tight spaces, go behind his back, and then just the footwork right here. This is what post game's all about. I just talked about this in one of the recent videos that I did with somebody. I don't even remember it, but he gets his foot over Anthony Davis's foot, and then, my goodness, the beautiful fadeaway. Like, it's a wide open shot, right? Just because of his size, it's pretty much uncontestable at that point. And you can see Anthony Davis's lack of spacing just really mucking up this Mavs offense right here, where PJ Washington has a switch on Dylan Harper in the post, but because AD is not really a spacing threat, Wemby can just crowd the paint. And it is honestly insane how many, like I lost count watching this game back today and taking notes, how many times Mavs defenders didn't even look at the rim when Wemby was around them. His rim deterrence is genuinely incredible. And the on-off numbers and the on-off rim numbers have always kind of instructed that. This was one of his other few buckets, and this is what we like to see. I think it was Brandon Williams right here getting AD in the pick and roll. Like, this is what the Mavs just don't have. Like, they don't have players who can consistently do this as simple as it is, which is really, really sad, especially because Kyrie is hurt. But I mean, it's not like Wemby made a mistake here or anything. It's just a good shot by AD, hitting a little floater in the pocket against drop coverage. But yeah, Wemby's still like just playing his role. Wasn't anything crazy. Another really poor defensive possession by AD. And I get they're down 25 in the first game of the season, but that's not good that they're down 25 in the first game of the season right here. Dylan Harper isn't even looking at the basket, and yet AD doesn't seem to realize that the pass to Wemby is coming until it's too late. And yeah, I mean, it was one of the least impactful games I can remember for him. And obviously it was partly because he was playing against this alien. This was another just disrespectful sequence where first off, Wembanyama just totally ignores AD's mid-range jumper. He sags off of him. He's going to isolate against him on the other end, in and out, and just dunk on him. This is insane. Great in and out move, just totally buckles. Look at AD's feet right here when Wemby pulls his in and out. He legitimately is so flexible. Oh my god, it's so over. He's swiping with the off arm. It is look at Brandon Williams' face, dog. He's like, oh my god. Look at this. That's crazy. He is shell shocked. One of my favorite games is just like look at the crowd and like look at the opposing team when Wemby is playing, especially road games. This was one of the one misses he had on these like bait plays right here, where he kind of a little bit played Ryan Nembhard too much and then didn't get to 80s, but even then he was like an inch away from getting a fingertip on that. So even Wemby's like misses and his mistakes, and you can see him getting less and less mistake prone. And you know, I think it's kind of funny that a lot of his like other errors like came and you know, bad offensive moments came not against AD, but he is just kind of transitioning into some miscellaneous clips that aren't necessarily AD related, but I wanted to talk about. He is the best 2v1 defender like ever. It's absolutely insane. There's no correct answer here for Cooper Flagg. He tries to throw the ball up to Derek Lively because Wemby is literally, his foot is like a couple feet away from his foot, and his Wemby's left arm is right in Flagg's grill, so he's like, oh, I'm just going to toss it up to my 7'2" center. But nope, Wemby just gets back and deflects the lob. And if Cooper goes up with this ball, he is getting spiked by Wemby. I'm sure of it, especially considering he was struggling to finish a little bit in this game. And then Wemby's going to kick to the corner, no look for a wide open three. He's different. I don't really know what to say. But this was the other just incredible, oh my God. It's insane how tight his handle is, and I was always impressed by how functional his handle was as a prospect. Like, he legitimately used his handle to get to where he wanted on the court, but never was it like this. Like, the complex moves, like the in and out cross between the legs, behind the back. Like, I don't know, a lot of point guards cannot pull that off, that play in this league, and it's really, really ridiculous. But I do think it's funny that Wemby kind of contrasted his issues against AD with a nice start with or 80's issue against him with some misses against PJ Washington and Lively, just settling for some tougher floaters, settling in at the beginning of this game. He took a decent amount of mid-range jumpers, and I wouldn't mind to see him take more threes in the future. Like I don't want him taking 1, 2 threes a game. I want him to continue shooting threes, as I said. But obviously, I like that he is focusing on the interior driving. And this was another one where I'm just like, pure brute strength and grace and touch. Honestly, like it's not necessarily strength to like move Lively backwards or anything. It just to like keep his straight ankle to the rim. He doesn't actually do that very well but he can like jump off of one leg and float it in because he's 7'5" and is taller and more gigantic than everyone. And this was one of my favorite plays that I didn't see clipped anywhere. That's the crazy thing about Wemby is like, you actually go and watch the full game. Like if you watch the game, like there's so like his like average plays are most players' best plays of the season, and a lot of these like tall players, like a Porzingis, you can like put smaller players and get into their handle, but he is functionally handling through contact 3 dribbles into a fadeaway. Like I don't really know what to say about Victor Wembanyama anymore. There isn't really much to say anymore. I think it's just over. If this is any indication, like the Mavs are obviously missing Daniel Gafford, and that would have been very helpful in the Wembanyama matchup, but they're theoretically like one of the better built teams. Like they're all front court with PJ and Flag and all of their centers, like, but Lively put them on foul trouble, destroyed Anthony Davis. Like there was nothing they can do. I mean, like Houston maybe comes to mind, Cleveland, Oklahoma City. We'll see how these elite defenses handle Wembanyama throughout the season. But if he's really committing to like going to the basket and being powerful and playing with force and bruising and forcing contact, it might just be Joburn for the league. And man, Wemby is fun to watch. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. Likes, comments, subscribe. Like I said, as always, would really be appreciated. And have a good day, y'all.